Hi guys, welcome back to the Forgetful Scholar. So this week is a book and a novella. So it's just my fault. I started later in the week, reading wise. It just wasn't feeling it in the beginning of the week. Not quite a reading slump, but just not, I just wasn't in the mood. And then this weekend got a little crazy. So I was just going to do one book. And then, I checked with some of the authors I follow because I really like their stuff. And Derr had a quick novella. And I was like, okay, sounds fun. So I'm going to start with the novella first. Behind the Mask, Legend of the Mask, Book 1 by Derr. So this is an 80-page boy love, guy love, romance, fantasy. Yeah. Okay, so the main character, and I'm really sorry if I don't pronounce this name correctly. Kasumi. So what I like about Derr is in a very short amount of pages, they create amazing worlds, right? So in this world, the magic is fading out. It seems very similar to like 17th century Europe, kind of got the vibe because there's pirates, but and this is like a 3-star for me, and I'll explain why in a second. So in this world, the magic is fading. And he is part of the Eastern clan. So there's different clans that have these masks. And they're like trained bodyguards. And these masks, it seems like every tribe has different colors, but individuals have different like etchings on their masks. And their masks never come off. So their parents know what they look like, their teachers. And then, someone comes to the tribe and is like, hey, I'm a traveling salesman? No, I'm a traveling dignitary. I really will want to go into a contract with one of your warriors for protection, right? And the clan kind of investigates them and okays it and denies it, right? So then once you're in a contract, that's your master. Don't really like that terminology, but that's what's in the book. So that's your master, and he or she can take off your mask as well. And there's so the magic is fading, but one of the strongest magics left is the magic on the mask, right? So that's the setup. Kasumi's master. Kasumi's he kind of made me think of a cat, just easily offended, doesn't really talk much in the beginning, but I guess his just personality made me think of a cat, and I don't hate that. I thought that was kind of refreshing that the main character wasn't, this main character warrior badass wasn't stoic, because internally he's F this, I hate this guy, I'm gonna kill them. I'm kind of frantic in that way, and I kind of enjoyed that, right? So his master, don't remember the name, and I did not write it down, so there we go. It's, through the book, it felt more parental, almost like indulgent grandfather that likes to tease Kasumi than anything else, which I was thankful for, because I was not in the headspace to read about abuse. I just wasn't in the headspace for that, right? You know how master and slave stuff can get really weird really quick, right? Not in the mood for that. So his master is a traveling scholar and very respected, and Kasumi is one of the best of his tribes, right? Internally, his POV, again, very, just easily offended, almost frantic. Every time he gets mad, he's I'm gonna kill them. I'm gonna kill them so bad. And I was like, I like this guy. He's fun. He's different. I like this. So, his job is to protect his master, but the twist is the pirates that, cute dog in the carpet. Okay. The pirates that basically kidnap him and his master are after Kasumi, not the master, right? So the pirate captain, we'll call him Luther because that's the name he went by most of the book. I got what the writer was going for. I got that the writer was trying to do him sort of a charming, laughable rogue type person. And I got it. Did I wish there was a little bit more work done with that? Yeah, because it just didn't feel complete, which is unique for this writer, right? So this is definitely a lovers, enemies to lovers kind of a thing. And I think it's a really good enemies to lovers story. And you guys know me. I love enemies to lovers, but I'm really picky about the tropes that I love. And enemies to lovers is so easily done disproportionate where it's just not believable. Like the offense isn't enough to be enemies, because enemies is a strong word, right? Or the offense is so bad and the other person didn't do the work to like make up, you know what I mean, for it. So this was a good 80 pages, really fast, good enemies to lovers, right? Because he's Kasumi's enemy because he kidnapped him and kidnapped his master and threatened to starve his master if he doesn't eat, and all this kind of exchange. And like, it's 3 stars because the romance I felt could use a little bit more. There was a lot of fun action in this story, and I feel like that was the focus, not so much the romance. The romance isn't bad. I've read worse romances where like all of a sudden the 2 characters are in love and you're like, how, where, why, when, what? You know, at least there was a lot of the pirate captain. You could honestly tell that he was attracted to Kasumi and he found him intriguing. But as these things go, the main bad guy, the real bad guy, double-crossed the pirate. So, you know, what do they say? Circumstances make strange bedfellows. Is that it? So I got why they put the animosity, at least why Kasumi put the animosity aside to work with the pirate, because he wants to get his master back, right? And again, it felt much more like familial grandpa-grandson kind of connection, which I enjoyed that, right? The fight scenes were a lot of fun, and what I was disproportionately happy about and I think anyone that like plays tabletop games or things like that will understand why I was so over the top happy about this. Pocket sand! Pocket sand! So like, during the fight, and Kasumi's like this badass warrior, you know, super ninja guy, right? So during the fight, with the main bad guy, he reaches behind his back to a pouch and he pulls out, I think it was magical sand, but like pulls out like sand and throws it at the enemy. And I was like, pocket sand! I'm so stupidly excited about that. Oh my god, I'm such a dumbass. Anyway, so the fighting scenes were a lot of fun. I really liked the ending. The ending was cute, and you got a lot of world building in these very short 80 pages, which this author is amazing at, and I liked a lot of their stuff. Sometimes they do the throuple why choose, and that's just not my thing. So there's some books I don't, like some series I don't finish with them because they go from like a couple to, yeah, anyway. Because like 1 or 2 of their books in the series is like couples, and then like the 3rd book they'll do like a throuple or something, and that's just not my thing. So I tend to switch the throuple books. But I had fun. I enjoyed myself. Again, 3 stars because I just think like, because Kasumi went from wanting to kill the pirate guy to, well, being annoyed, and you'll see why if you read the book, with the pirate guy, and then wanting to kill the pirate guy, and then just being annoyed and completely avoiding any other kind of emotion that came up when it had to do with the pirate guy. And you get it, because he's been trained since like birth, it seems, to be a child soldier, so you understand why his emotions are completely stunted. And then it went from like being pissed off at the pirate because they, spoiler alert a little bit, left, then fine, then like happy at the end, but not really happy at the end. Like, what he does, obviously he's happy at the end, but like in the POV, he seems to be more annoyed, like happily annoyed with everything. So for me, I would have liked a little bit more emotional growth for Kasumi, because like that did not really happen. And I get it, it's only 80 pages, but I've read this author before and they're good about that. So no excuse there, hun. So I would have liked a little bit more of that. And I get it, you know, Kasumi, he's a child soldier, so I get it. Also, just to warn you, there's no love scene, you know? And like, I didn't mind that in this because again, there wasn't a lot of emotional growth for Kasumi. So any kind of sex scene, I would have been like, what is this? Hate sex? Which, I mean, I don't really like that in my romance novels. So I'm kind of happy that didn't happen. But like, it wouldn't have felt like a romance. It probably just felt like smut if they put that in, right? So I'm not disappointed in that. I just think there could have been a little bit more on Kasumi's end with the writer, getting them to like at least acknowledge their emotions. Like that didn't really happen. And I know there's a second book in the series and I thought it might be a continuation, but it seems to be separate people. So I was like, that's a little disappointing. So that's why it's 3 stars. Man, I talked a lot for a book that was only 80 pages. Anyway, the second book, 4.5 stars. It is a historical straight romance and is a governess should never ... tempt a prize fighter. The Governess Chronicles Book 1 by Emily Windsor. So this is a new historical romance novelist that I found and I'm really enjoying so far. Last week was their other book. So this is Madeleine, who is a friend of the girls from last book, the sisters from last book. She's their friend. So basically she has to escape a horrible planned marriage. So her parents died, very sad. Her cousin who took over the title is basically selling her off to this really older, decrepit, libertarian kind of guy. She hates him. She wants out. So she runs away and she's trying to get a job as a governess because she's very smart. Now, I'm really enjoying this writer, right? I'm really enjoying them. I enjoy that last book, the 2 main characters were a fan of art, like, you know, Van Gogh and Da Vinci and things. Well, obviously not Van Gogh. That's before their time. But you know what I mean. So their internal monologues and their POVs had certain things, like instead of saying white, they said, you know, well, instead of saying like red, they say crimson and things like that. That made you think like, oh yeah, they're painters. I understand, you know. And in this book, I was really impressed how the POVs to both Madeleine, I keep forgetting that name, Madeleine, and the Prizefighter, whose name is Seth. We saw him in the last book as well, because he was he owns a gym that was training the Duke how to box and things like that. They're both book lovers. They're both literary lovers. So their POV, you could tell that, you know, it was very wordy, very illiterate. You know, they used SAT words in places. And I was like, I'm really impressed how this author is able to do that. Now, why is this only 4.5 stars instead of 5 stars? Because for me, 5 stars is, did I love the book? Yes. Would I recommend this book to someone who is looking for historical romance or is new to romance? Yes. Now, the third question, which determines whether I think this is a 5 star or not, would I revisit it? Would I reread it? And like, I don't think I would, even though I had a wonderful time. I can't really see myself grabbing this for a reread. Why? I don't know. But that's just, you know, so it's 4.5 stars. Madeleine is so... I really liked her. Like, the only... Like, all over my notes is so cute. She's adorable. Adorable bookworm. Like, so cute. So cute. So, Madeleine is a complete bookworm. And she's so naive and very sheltered. But she like... Every time a new experience comes up, she's so excited about it, you know? And Seth is a widowed father of a young girl, Chloe. I loved Chloe. Okay, so Chloe, in the beginning, again, her father is a prize fighter that turned to owning a gym where, like, dukes go to learn how to train box, so he does very well for himself, right? Now, especially since he grew up in the workery or, like, in poverty, you know, in the... more contemporary terms, the ghetto, the bad neighborhood, right? So I absolutely loved their relationship. Every morning, Chloe helps her dad pick out what color, what was it? Cover bun? I forget what it was. I thought it was super cute. Like, oh, today you should wear red today. You know, like, it's a cute thing for them. Like, I liked how we saw their connection. I liked how we get to see Chloe and Madeleine. Their growing connection, because she is hired as Chloe's governess. And he takes her on one because she's honest about why she needs to hide. She needs to hide till she's 21, and then she's a legal adult and she could take over her estate, and her cousin can't force her into marriage. She's completely truthful about it, right? So that hits Seth's instincts to protect her, which is cute, because, it's cute. Romance novels, cute. Also, he's having trouble finding governess for Chloe because he's not a titled, he is a working class guy that made good, and Chloe wants to be the first, her hero is the first female prizefighter, and she wants to be a female prizefighter, so there's not a lot of governesses that will do that. And I really enjoyed later on in the book, Chloe realizes it's not going to be an attainable thing, but she doesn't want to give up fighting. And the dad's like, well, me and the Duke from last book, we were talking about how it would be great if maybe I should open up a fighting club for ladies so they learn how to protect themselves. And he explains like, well, if someone grabbed you, what would you do? And she just, she explains how she would protect herself. Then he's like, well, if someone grabbed Madeline, what would she do? And she's like, oh boy, she would end up with her. She said she would end up with her skirt over her head and her throat slit. So that was intense. A sentence doctors at the table, and an accurate one, right? So I loved, and then Chloe goes to teach Madeline how to protect herself. Like, it's not Seth. Seth is used as the dummy, as someone who took self-defense classes. I loved this part. I really love this part. And it comes in later, which I like too. This author doesn't do scenes for no reason, which I enjoy. And the romance, the chemistry between Seth and Madeline. I'm just going to call her Maddie. Because my brain is like, does not compute that name. I don't know why, but here we are. So, Seth and Maddie have a great connection. I love the yearning, the longing. Because he doesn't want to go there because he's her boss. And he'll feel like he's taking advantage and that he's a wretch if he does that. And I was like, oh, Seth, you absolute perfect, wonderful guy. I love this. And at one point they have their first kiss, but they've both been drinking, and he's like, I don't want to take advantage, and like all this stuff. And it's a really cute scene, and it's a really great way, where you, like, a writer, they did a wonderful job putting like consent and a historical romance in the scene, and it's so cute. Like, it was a very cute book, and I really enjoyed it. I love the end, because like the third act, the bad guy and everything, there's more to it than him just marrying her off, and you find out what it is, and it's really interesting, and you get to meet like Seth's best friend, and I'm like wondering, hopefully he gets his own book because he's fascinating. Hope Chloe gets her own book too later on. She's only 14, 15 now, so no, 14. Yeah, she's like 13, 14 now, so like hopefully she'll get her own book later on. But like, I loved, because a little bit of spoiler, I'm not going to tell you what happens, but the ultimate bad guy grabs her and tries to drag her away, but because Chloe taught her self-defense, she beats the out of him. Like, and at one point, like, she has him on the ground, she's about to stomp on his privates, and he's like, mercy, and she's like, nope, boom, and I was like, yep, go. Like, 'cause he deserves it, guys. He deserves it, okay? So that was great. The bad guy totally deserved that and more. So that was wonderful. I had a great time with that. And I also liked, because, I expected Seth to be an orphan or whatever, because that seems to be, like, the standard for the make-good guys from the rough part of town in the historical romance. But I was happily proven wrong. He has parents, and once he got out of poverty, not only did he bring his next door neighbors that helped him with Chloe after his wife left them, he also, got his parents out of poverty and got them a nice house, and like right now they're traveling the continent, you know what I mean? I just kind of really love that. It was such a different kind of moment, and he was such a different kind of guy in a romance. This type of romance, like, normal working class guy makes good, marries a titled woman. In this kind of thing, he was a little bit different, and I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed all of it. Yeah. Every time I'm like, oh, I only have a book and like a novella. It's not going to be a long video. Q2 like 20 minutes later. Okay, so that was my week. I don't want to, but it's time for me to get back to the real world. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you later. Bye.